actually forget what shiso means. I think it's like the disappearance or something. But disappearance, like when people disappear, they usually say yukoefume, or like yukoefumesha is like a person who's disappeared. So I'm not sure, but I guess it could just be a different word. Also, I said a while ago that I was interested in doing like some kind of medical type or like weird history type cases in addition to like true crime ones, like sort of true crime adjacent. And I have found a case that I'm really interested in doing specifically. I mean, I had a bunch, but this one I definitely want to do. I saw it on Instagram. It's about a Japanese doctor who collected the tattooed skin of Yakuza members. He didn't murder anyone. He usually like made a deal with them being like, hey, I'll pay for your tattoos if you let me have your skin after you die, or I'll give you $20,000 if you give me your skin after you die. So there isn't anything like crimey in it really. It's more sort of just like interesting and weird, but I really like it because it reminds me of this show, one of my favorite ones, Golden Kamuy, and it shares the aspect of taking the tattooed skin off of people, and it actually takes place in a similar time period, the early 1900s. I think the Japanese case, or the real life one, I mean, takes place in 1908, or like he started doing that in 1908. Anyway, so yeah, leave me a comment if you'd be interested in listening to that. I probably will put it as like true crime, but it's not, obviously. But if I don't put true crime in the title, my videos don't do well. So before I get down to business, there's just one more thing that I want to talk about, other than reminding you that if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and leave me a like and a comment on this video to help with the algorithm and help more people find my channel, and so that more people can see my videos. Yeah, but so the thing that I'm curious about is, do you guys care like what order of events I tell the case as? Like if I talk about like the person getting caught and then their crimes and then like who they are last, the way that it would happen, like when, like in the media, the way the media would do it, like, oh, this crime happened and no one knows who it is, and then, oh, now we know who it is, it's this guy, and then like this is other crimes and this is what his childhood was like and this is the trial? Or do you like hearing about it better, like the person's background and then the crimes and conviction, like in chronological order of how things happened? I feel like that kind of spoils the mystery a little bit, but also like, I mean, it's in the title anyway, right? So does the mystery really matter? But yeah, I've done it both ways, and I think I tend to prefer doing it like the way that you would hear about it in real life, like talking about the crimes, and then the police catching the person, and then like who the person is, and then the conviction and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes it's easier to do it in chronological order. This case is going to be in chronological order too. So yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments, or if you don't really care either way, then also let me know that, just so I can know. But yeah, we're gonna get down to business now. That's enough of that random crap. So, Yoshinori Ueda was born in 1955 in Yao, Osaka, and he was the only son of a wealthy couple who owned a liquor store. There isn't much known about his childhood other than that, but when he was 30 years old, Ueda was asked by a friend to be a guarantor for a loan for 70 million yen, which is $483,500 in today's money. He agreed to do that, but then the friend disappeared, and Ueda was left to pay the whole loan off by himself. Some friend, am I right? Mortified by that, as I'm sure you can imagine, he begged his parents to pay it off, which they did, but then they prohibited him from spending the family inheritance without supervision. And after that incident, his personality reportedly changed completely. Can't blame him, honestly. So I was reading some Japanese articles about this case that I like Google translated, since I'm not at a level where I can just read an article like that. And it said something about him having been made like a quasi-incompetent adult, or quasi-competent, I don't remember exactly what the term was. which is like a legal status that I'm assuming is kind of similar to what happened with like Britney Spears. Like his parents took away his full rights as an adult from him, you know, to protect him or whatever. But I don't know too much about that, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But Ueda began to spend most of his time with his dog, preferring its company to that of other people. One day, he went to the vet for just a regular checkup for his dog and witnessed another person's puppy being put down with an injection of succinylcholine, which is a muscle relaxant. And since I find this kind of thing interesting, it's actually apparently a muscle depolarization inhibitor. I think he found it really interesting, and he made up some kind of story to get the vet to give him a small ampule of the medicine for his own experimentation, which honestly is very sus. I guess a vet, why would you do that? A while after that, an acquaintance Ueda had, who was a police dog trainer, told him about being a dog breeder. And even though Ueda didn't have any knowledge or experience in the area of breeding dogs, he decided to go for it, thinking that he could make a lot of money off of it. So he rented a patch of farmland in Shiojiri, Nagano, to build his dog breeding and trading school. Ueda took out ads in magazines posing as an experienced dog trainer, contacted people he hoped would become investors, and even approached random people out on walks with their dogs to try and get clients. Since this was like the 90s, I'm pretty sure it worked, and he got a few people who were interested in his services. In August 1991, Ueda met and became friends with Ko Kashiwai, a 22-year-old construction worker from Osaka, who Ueda offered a job at his dog school. One day, Kashiwai told his friends that he was going to work at the new part-time job, and then he was never seen again. In May 1992, Ueda met Hiroshi Seto, a 25-year-old unemployed man from Sakai, while Seto was out walking his dog. They apparently already knew each other since they'd both worked at a logistics company at some point in the past, and had frequently gone out drinking together back then. So, one night, Seto told Ueda that he was into men, and the next day rumors about Seto's sexuality started to go around. As I'm sure you can imagine, Seto confronted Ueda about it, but he denied being responsible, and they got into an argument that almost turned into a fistfight. 2 months later, in July of that year, Ueda got back into contact with Seto and invited him to dog school on the pretense of making up, but Ueda must have still been mad about it and not in the mood to actually fix anything, because Seto disappeared after that. Next was 35-year-old Sanpei Fujiwara, another unemployed man from Osaka, who saw one of Ueda's ads for pet dogs in a magazine and contacted him, and they became friends. In July 1992, Fujiwara transferred 300,000 yen, which is about $2,071, to Ueda's bank account, and made plans to visit him at the dog school in Shiojiri, I guess under the pretense of buying a dog, because, well, $2,000 is a little steep for a dog, but yeah. That August, he called his ex-wife, and then disappeared without a trace. In October 1992, Ueda met Sachiko Takahashi, a 47-year-old housewife from Osaka, at a vet's office. He talked to her about training her dog, and she gave him 800,000 yen, which is about $7,000, and agreed to come to his place sometime. On October 25th, she did, and she was also never seen again. Back in September 1992, the article actually said 91, but I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not, or if this was just like a bit of a slow burn kind of thing compared to the other victims. But Nobuko Ishiji, a 47-year-old housewife from Sakai, was approached while out walking her dog by Ueda, and he gave her some kind of sales pitch that she was interested in. She took out 11.7 million yen, which is $106,000 from her bank account, and then on October 29th, 1992, she left a note saying that she was going to killed Shiji because she'd found Takahashi's body stuffed in a car on the premises, and he'd killed Seto because of the argument that they'd had. He told police that he'd killed Seto by injecting him with the muscle relaxant in his car, and also that he'd stuffed Sachiko Takahashi's body into a metal locker for a few days before moving it with a truck he'd rented to his farmland in Shiojiri, then buried it there. They dug up the metal locker and recovered Takahashi's body, and by February 10th, 1995, a little over a year since they arrested him, the police had excavated the training ground and located all 5 victims' bodies. They charged him with 5 counts of murder and kept him in custody until his trial. Despite having confessed, he decided to plead not guilty, claiming that the police had coerced his confession out of him. That claim was ignored, and on March 20th, 1998, he was given the death sentence by the Osaka District Court. He appealed to the Osaka High Court, but they upheld the original sentence on March 15th, 2001. Ueda, who was 46 by that time, argued that he was incompetent to stand trial, and tried claiming again that his confession to the police lacked credibility because the police had forced it out of him with threats of violence. A psychological evaluation that was ordered by the High Court showed that there was, quote, no problem in the defendant's mental competency. The lower court in the original trial hadn't done a psychological examination because they decided it was unnecessary. Presiding Judge Hiromu Kurihara rejected the appeal, and Ueda filed a third and final appeal to the Supreme Court, which also dismissed it on December 15, 2005, and that finalized his death sentence. As of July 2022, Ueda is still on death row, waiting to be executed. So there are 2 books written about it. There might have been more, but these ones were listed in the Wikipedia article that I read, and they have Japanese titles, so I figured I'd read those for a little bit of Japanese whispering. They're both by Keiko Umemoto. It sounds weird for some reason. The first one was written on December 1st, 1998, and the title is Ja Dare ga yatta no Musuko ubawareta haha no munen tankoban. And in English that's Then Who Did It? The Regret of a Mother Who Lost Her Son. And then the same lady, like I said, wrote another book on May 1st, 2007, after everything was kind of said and done. And so the second book was called Musuko wa mou kairanai, Osaka Aikenka Renzoku Shiso Satsujin Jiken, 13nen mei no bizarre criminal case of suspected serial homicide, because he hadn't been convicted yet, so they had to say suspected, by injection of a muscle relaxant, and they referred to it as succinylcholine, which is just another name for succinylcholine. Like when I googled it, that came up as just like an alternate name for it. 5 victims were found buried in a rural area, and 2 victims showing moderate decomposition about 3 months after death. Intense pulmonary edema with pleural effusion was observed. Evidence of a puncture site was found in one of the victims. Succinylcholine could not be detected in the victims, but was identified in a syringe found near the corpses. The 40-milligram ampule dose of succinylcholine administered intramuscularly to the victims, possibly causing prolonged apnea, was considered to be at least around the minimum lethal dose, although the combined effect of the sedation with hypnotics also used was not negligible. So they're just basically saying that I guess he used some kind of like a hypnotic, I'm not sure of any drugs. I can't think of any off the top of my head that are like a hypnotic, but you get the idea, right? And that they basically just died of suffocation from muscle relaxant because their diaphragm couldn't inflate their lungs because it was busy being so relaxed, or its depolarization was inhibited. And so that was the cause of death. Basically, they all suffocated to death. So, that's all I have for this case. It was another short one, like my last video. If you didn't see my last video, it's about a South Korean woman who went out and murdered another woman because she really liked true crime and she just wanted to know what it was like to murder someone. And that's like a brand new case that just happened, so that video is also a little bit short. But if you're interested, I'd appreciate it if you went and watched that as well. And so, I will be back with another video sometime. I'm trying to be more like, well, I want to be more regular with my video posting, but I'm taking 3 classes over the summer, and yeah, I've mostly just been like focusing on that. I'm also going on a trip to South Korea at the end of the coming month, like literally like a month from now, so I'll probably be preparing for that as well. I'm also getting a tattoo on the 14th of July. I'll probably post like a little short about that if you're interested in seeing it. So yeah, that's basically it. If you like this video, don't forget to leave me a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And I will see you next time.